Let me ask you a question. Are you living a life where you know you're doing things each day that aren't in alignment with who you really want to show up as in this world? Are you doing things that aren't the best for your health? Maybe not the best for your personal relationships, not the best for your environment, and you want to live a more conscious, a better, a healthier life. Well, today I'm going to give you 5 tools in order to start living a more conscious life, a healthier life, a life where you have more abundance, more joy, more freedom. And if you stick around to the end, number 5 is going to be a huge one that I wish that I knew when I first started on my health and more conscious living journey. Number 1 is get off of your phone. Now, I know that our phones are something that we use every single day. We use it to text people, we use it to call people, we also use it for social media and work, as I know I do myself. And with that, we have to set boundaries for it. Because one of the biggest things that I have noticed is that when I go on my phone first thing in the morning, or whenever I go on it in the morning, I immediately have a change in mood. My mood gets a little bit more anxious. It gets a little bit more stressed. And that's because we get this rush of stimulation when we first get onto our phone. There's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Twitter, there's Threads, there's text, there's emails, there's all these things. And naturally, we have this stress response to it. It takes us from maybe a parasympathetic nervous system state when we're in rest and recover, we're in this chilled out state, and it puts us into a sympathetic state. So the more that we can become aware of it and the less time that we can spend on our phones and just use it when we need to, our nervous system is going to be in a better place from that. We're not going to be so sympathetic all throughout the day. If we are in a stressful environment all day and then we go on our phones and it's even more stress, that's just going to heighten our nervous systems and not allow us to be more calm throughout the day. So let's decrease the amount of time. And how do we do that? Well, there's widgets on your phone and there's things to see the amount of time that you are spending, the amount of screen time that you have. So go on your phone, see how much screen time that you're spending and try to cut that down by 10, 20% at first. And just make that sort of a challenge for you. Can you decrease it? If you're spending 3 hours on your phone right now, can you spend 2.5 hours instead? Can you make that decrease? I think that's about 10, 20%. Just make that short decrease and you'll probably notice that your life starts to improve a bit. Maybe you aren't as stressed out throughout the day. And that will feel good that, hey, I'm not spending as much time on my phone. And that leads into my second, which is if we're not spending as much time on our phone, we can prioritize movement in our days. Now, I'm not going to go and tell you, hey, you have to train 3 days per week. You have to train 5 days per week. You have to be working out 2 minutes workouts throughout the day. No, you don't have to go do that. We just have to prioritize moving our bodies. So even for myself right now, when I'm recording this video, I'm not sitting in a chair doing it. I'm up, I'm standing, I'm moving. I have a standing desk. So that is how I am prioritizing my movement so that I'm not sedentary all day. Because you'll hear me talk about this more and more, but our bodies are all energy. And with having that energy, energy is meant to be moved. When we become stagnant, the energy inside of us becomes stagnant. And stagnant energy is not able to grow. When stagnant energy, I want you to think about this. When water becomes stagnant, what happens? It starts to develop algae. It might develop some sort of kind of sickness. That's when the water becomes unclear and it starts to get really murky. When the water becomes stagnant, it's the same thing in your body. Your energy is meant to be moved. So you want to prioritize moving your energy throughout the day. That's going to allow you to feel better, not as stressed, not as anxious, because oftentimes when we're stagnant and we're sedentary, that is when we're more anxious because our energy is all built up and it hasn't allowed itself to move. So just throughout the day, if you're working from home or you might be working in an office, wherever you're working, just prioritize, hey, I'm going to get up for a 10-minute walk, maybe 2-3 times throughout the day. Or I'm just going to go and do some push-ups. I'm going to do some squats. I'll often do that throughout the day. Just drop down and do 10 push-ups, do 10 squats. You want to move your energy throughout the day. So this allows your energy to be in a better place so that you aren't dealing with as much stress, and you're able to be more present and conscious and aware throughout your days. That leads into number 3, which is getting out into nature more, because we are in tune with nature. So we have this circadian rhythm within us, and that dictates how our hormones are up and down throughout the day. So whether they rise, whether they fall, there's certain hormones that are directly in tune with the sun and the moon. When the sun comes up in the morning, we have this small spike in cortisol, which wakes us up. When the moon comes, we have a spike in melatonin, which allows us to go into more of a rest and recover state so that we can get good sleep. However, when we aren't in tune with nature and we aren't in tune with the cycles of the sun and the moon, that's when our hormones start to get disrupted. They start to get all whack. We're more awake right before we go to sleep. We're really tired in the mornings. We have this huge crash of energy in the middle of the day. It's because you're not in tune with nature. We are one with nature. We evolved from it. So we have to spend more time with it. So going back to my last point, getting more movement in, maybe you go for a 10-minute walk outside in nature, a 15, 20-minute walk outside in nature. Maybe you put your feet into the grass, because grounding is a beautiful thing to decrease inflammation. It allows us to have less stress. It allows us to have less anxiety because we are connected with nature. There's a reason for that. Maybe you, on the weekend, you spend some time and you go out for a hike in the woods, or you have access to a trail. Go out and spend some time in nature. And if you make this a priority, you're going to start to have a better connection with yourself, because we are connected with nature. Number 4 is to start the day with some form of presence practice. Now, with the clients that I work with, we prioritize having a presence practice in the morning, because oftentimes probably what you're doing right now is that you wake up and you immediately go into a sympathetic, stressed out state. You probably go and check your phone, you might check emails, you might watch TV, or maybe you just slam a coffee and go right into your day. That is going to cause you to be in more of a sympathetic, stressed out state throughout the day. If we start our day with even 3 to 5 minutes of presence, which I see with the people that I work with, is that 3 to 5 minutes of time in the morning where you prioritize just focusing on yourself, going inward rather than immediately giving outward, you're going to have more awareness, a more conscious way of living as you go throughout your days. And what does this look like? This can be you wake up, you go to the bathroom, go ahead and do that. And then you go into either 3 to 5 minutes of breath work or 3 to 5 minutes of a meditation. I like breath work because it gives you something to focus on. So in the morning when you wake up, you can go into 5 minutes of breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth and just focusing on your breath. That's it. And as thoughts and your mind tries to grab at your attention, just allow it to come in. It is not something where we are trying to completely quiet the mind and quiet our thoughts. That's not what meditation is. It's just becoming aware of the thoughts. So when the thought comes in, just allow yourself to not go down the rabbit hole with it. Just, you can even label it. Oh, thought. And then come back to your breath and just start to practice this. Start to do it each day. Maybe you evolve into doing a 10, a 15-minute breath work. Maybe you download a guided breath work. But at first, just start with focusing on your breath for 5 minutes in through your nose and gently out your mouth. And you're going to start to notice you'll have more presence and awareness throughout the day. And number 5, this is the biggest one, is be aware and start to become conscious of everything you put in your body and everything that you put on your body. This one is probably going to require the most work because you're probably eating out throughout the week. You're probably eating processed foods. With the lives that we live, especially as coaches, entrepreneurs, and 9-to-5 workers, is we try to make things as quick as possible so we don't really have the time to be conscious of our food. We just try to grab something quick. But it's also the things that you're putting on your body as well. So become conscious of everything that you put in. Where is your food coming from? How was your food processed? Was it processed at all? So if we can try to focus on foods that have a limited number of ingredients, those are going to be the best foods. Are they organic or are they not? Did they come from a local farm? If you can find a local farmer's market in your area or a local farm to buy your meat from, your produce from, then that is going to be the highest vibration food that you can put into your body, because the energy that was put into it is much better than cattle that was raised with 1,000 other cattle in this meat lot. If you get it from a farm where the cattle was raised sustainably, they were raised with love and good energy, that energy is going to go into you. You're going to be eating good energy food rather than going to a Chipotle and eating beef there where it was raised in a meat lot or a cattle lot, whatever you want to call it. That is going to be a low vibration food that you're putting into your body. So become conscious of the food. Where is it sourced from? And then also be conscious of what you put on your body. So the clothing that you wear, is it organic cotton? Was it produced sustainably? Or was it something from like Zara or American Eagle, or clothing was produced with a bunch of chemicals and toxins and it's all polyester? That's not what we want to put on our body, because that's going to actually disrupt our hormones. And also the products that you use. So like what you put into your hair, is it Head and Shoulders body wash and shampoo with a bunch of chemicals? I know that for myself, I started to lose my hair because I got Lyme disease. So now I'm very conscious about it. And I only use, it's not even a shampoo. I get it from a local farm to table place where it's just tallow and like eucalyptus. And that's all it is. And that's all I put in my hair. I don't put shampoo. And also on my body, I typically just wash myself with filtered water. And that's it, because we don't need all these harsh chemicals and things going on to us. So become more conscious of that. To recap, get outside more, get off your phone and decrease the time on your phone. Prioritize moving your body every single day in some form or fashion. Start the day with some form of presence with that 5-minute breath work, and then be conscious of everything that you put into and on your body. If you start to implement these 5 steps into your life, you're going to have a more conscious way of living. You're going to become more aware, more present, and you're also just going to start to feel better every single day. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, share it with a friend so that we can grow this channel more and more and allow more people to start living a more conscious life so that we can raise together. Much love to you, and I will catch you all soon. Peace.